What's a fluffy and delicious cake with a buttery surprise inside? Betty Crocker's answer, chocolate buttermallow cake. My name is Melinda and I'm cooking my way through Betty Crocker's 1971 recipe card library. Today we are making a chocolate buttermallow cake, which is from section M, Snacks Around the Clock, card number 7. It's a special day on the channel, at least I'm deeming it a special day because this is our 100th episode of Unboxing Betty, kind of. It's not really the 100th YouTube video because I've made videos on the channel that don't feature the recipe cards, and it's not even really the 100th recipe card because sometimes I do more than one card on a particular episode. So we kind of bypassed the 100th card back in the summertime. But this is the 100th YouTube episode about recipe cards according to my filing nomenclature on my hard drive. So I'm deeming it a special occasion. 100th episode, we gotta bake a cake, right? I feel like this cake is a perfect encapsulation of Betty Crocker. It's kind of like decadent and show-stopping and will impress guests, but there's a lot of shortcuts in here. But it's still like taking key baking principles. Like we're still baking a chocolate cake, we're making butterscotch, we're making a marshmallow frosting. And so I feel like it is kind of a culmination of like dessert making as a whole, but is still kind of easy and convenient because we're gonna take a couple shortcuts. So we're making basically a devil's food cake that we're gonna layer with a butterscotch filling and then frost with a marshmallow frosting that uses Marshmallow Fluff. Very excited for that. I think all these flavors are gonna come together and be absolutely delicious. Chocolate cake is my favorite type of dessert, so I can't wait to make it. Let's get started. Okay, so the first step is pretty simple. We are going to bake our devil's food cake mix in an oblong pan, 13 by 9 by 2 inches, as directed on package. So here we are. Got my Betty Crocker's devil's food cake mix. We love. We're gonna put it in a bowl and get it mixed up. We're gonna mix the cake mix, a cup of water, a half a cup of vegetable oil, and 3 eggs. We need to beat vigorously by hand for 2 minutes. I like to mix it up. You know, sometimes I use my stand mixer, sometimes I use the beaters, sometimes I just want to use a whisk and do it by hand. Easy peasy. 2 minutes is a long time though. My hand will get tired. I think it's mixed enough, don't you? Has it been 2 minutes? Probably not. Am I impatient? Yes. Now I have my 9 by 13 baking dish, which I've greased, and this is just gonna go in there. So far, so easy. I'm curious why we're doing it in the 913 baking dish. I feel like this type of cake could be like beautiful enough to do in a round, like layer cake style, but then again, it was in the Snacks Around the Clock section, so I wonder if it's just because like it's a snacking cake, it's a little bit more informal. I don't know. All right, so let's get this in the oven. It's gonna be in the oven at 350 for 28 to 33 minutes. And then once it's baked and cooled, we will start to prepare our other elements of the cake and start our assembly. Okay, our cake is out of the oven and it's fairly cool. It's still a little warm on the bottom. So I wanna take it out of the 9 by 13 and onto our final serving tray where we'll do all the frosting. This is the biggest tray I had. It was rectangular. It's almost exactly 9 by 13. So we'll see if the cake fits on the tray. I'm a little worried, but we will just do a big flip and we'll hope for the best, okay? Ooh! Oh. Okay, it fits. But I think this is actually good. I think I still have plenty of room to frost it. I think it'll be fine. It's a snacking cake, okay? It doesn't have to be perfect. All right, I've got my induction cooktop out because we are gonna do 2 additional elements to the cake. The first one is a butterscotch filling, and then after we make that, we're gonna make a marshmallow frosting. So for the butterscotch, we are gonna start by mixing 1 cup of brown sugar and 3 tablespoons of flour. There's the sugar. There's the flour. Do I need something to stir this with? Probably. It says stir it. It doesn't say it's supposed to happen over the heat yet. So I'm just gonna kind of give these guys a casual mix. I was looking up the difference between caramel and butterscotch, and the only difference seemingly was brown sugar versus white sugar, but I didn't think either of these had flour in them, so we'll see how this goes. Gradually stir in 3/4 cup of light cream and heat to boiling, stirring constantly. So we're gonna pour that in. And then we're gonna get this rocking and rolling. It's already a weird consistency and color. All right. It's boiling pretty fast. I'm gonna go ahead and take it off the heat. While it's still really hot, we're gonna mix in 2 tablespoons of butter, and we're also gonna add a teaspoon of vanilla. We're just gonna continue to mix that and get it nice and combined while the butter melts. Okay, something has happened. Does it look more like gravy than butterscotch? Yeah, it does. The way it is right now, I can imagine it just like running off the sides of the cake, and you want it to like kind of spread on top of the cake and stay there. But I have faith that it'll get thicker as it cools. We're gonna go ahead and set this aside, and let's make our marshmallow frosting. Okay, so for the marshmallow frosting, we're essentially making a meringue. I have a double boiler situation going on. We're heating up some water here now. And I'm going to combine 2 egg whites, the sugar, some cream of tartar, a tablespoon of corn syrup. Thank you very much. And 1/3 cup of water. And we're just gonna start beating that until stiff peaks form. We did it. Stiff peaks. Well, what did we accomplish? We've flung molten sugar all over my apartment, including onto my body. And we have what appears to be a bowl of marshmallow. Now, I don't know anything about anything, but if we made marshmallow, tell me why I then have to put marshmallow fluff into the marshmallow, which is what the next step is. Remove from heat, add marshmallow cream, beat until of spreading consistency. What? What? The marshmallow cream is thicker and it's so sticky. I don't know. You want me to beat this more? I don't know. Right now there's just a heavier blob of marshmallow within my normal blob of marshmallow. And I don't know why we're combining the two. I'm supposed to beat it more? It's so sticky, there's sugar everywhere. What if I just folded in and called it a day? I think we're good. I don't think I have to beat it again. That is just gonna cause more torment. And if I regret it, I regret it. But I regret nothing. How did 2 door-to-door candy men use the power of song to promote America's fluffiest treat? Let's dig into the history of Marshmallow Fluff. The earliest reference to marshmallow cream appeared in the iconic 1896 Boston Cooking School cookbook by Fanny Farmer, which had a recipe for marshmallow paste. This was more so a shortcut to melt down marshmallows for frosting and candies than a standalone treat. In 1920, 2 Boston men, Alan Durkee and Fred L. Mower, started making candy together. They would cook their confections in the kitchen at night and sell them door to door each day. When they heard of a man named Archibald Query selling a formula for his special marshmallow cream product for $500, they jumped on the offer, branding it as Toot Sweet Marshmallow Fluff. The fluffy stuff quickly gained a reputation among local housewives, and they expanded to grocery stores locally. And after merging with the Cream of Chocolate Company in 1929, they were able to heavily advertise fluff and hot cocoa in a joint newspaper ad campaign, and sales skyrocketed. The team then set their sights on a new form of media, the radio. Pioneering a new type of advertising, they began to sponsor the weekly Flufferettes radio show, which broadcast to all of New England.
For something delicious, you know well enough, you will get your wishes with marshmallow fluff. And each and every serving of this tempting fluff will bring praise deserving of marshmallow fluff.
Tune in next week at the same time for more Flufferette melodies. Your announcer is Hal Miller. This is the Yankee Network.
Fluff production slowed during World War II due to sugar rationing, but picked back up after the war. In 1947, they surveyed housewives across America about fluff packaging and began to redesign the jar. Wide enough of an opening for a spoon, easy to grip and open, and the perfect size to reuse for leftovers. The same basic jar is still in use today, a tribute to its longevity in a rapidly changing market. In fact, they had to redesign their factory to fit the redesigned jar for maximum efficiency. Marshmallow Fluff endures as an American classic, with a patriotic red, white, and blue label created by the same designer responsible for the Quaker Oats logo. Today, the most common use for Marshmallow Fluff is the Fluffernutter. The fluff and peanut butter sandwich was actually developed by a competitor brand called Snowflake during the war, dubbing it a Liberty sandwich. But Fluff capitalized on the combo in the 1960s with a clever new marketing scheme, coining the term Fluffernutter and putting out commercials with a catchy jingle, claiming it was so easy even kids could make it. Well, we've reached the end of a long journey, similar to the 100 episodes we've been on together on this channel. I feel like I've experienced a lot, I've learned a lot, I've gotten messy, I've become tired. But it's finally time to assemble the cake. We have our gorgeous, fully cooled cake. And the first thing we're gonna do is spread the butterscotch filling on top within a ½ inch of the edge. It hasn't gotten as thick as I thought it would, but I think let's just go for it. Just start there. Give it some time. Don't get too close to that edge. Don't get too close. Don't let gravity work against me. Gravity wants to bring me down. Let's add more here. Let's add a little scoop there. I think because I did it in a glass 9x13, the edges are a lot kind of blurred than if it was in I guess a metal 9x13 pan. It would have had way more kind of defined corners than what I have to work with here. All right, now we're gonna sprinkle some nuts into the butterscotch. All right, and then finally, frost sides and top of cake with marshmallow frosting. Let's do it. Let's try our best. The goal is coverage. We're just gonna plop it on. And hope for maximum coverage. My thought is that I'll just kind of bring it to the sides and bring it over, you know? That's a good start. We'll start with what's here. This is the stickiest frosting. Why would anyone ever make this? And it's bringing the butterscotch down with it. I will go down with this ship and I will close myself and surrender. There will be no white flag upon my door. Yeah, I'm just kind of flopping it on. I don't even have to frost the sides. The sides frost themselves because of gravity. I think as long as you can't see the butterscotch from the outside, it's okay that it's kind of run its course all the way to the edge of glory. See, this is what I'm talking about. The butterscotch came out. It came out to the outside. It's just a big blob. I'm gonna cover this last blob corner. Maybe I should have beat it more. Maybe it wouldn't be as blob-like. All right, so we have our white blob here, and we also have some unsweetened chocolate that I've melted, and it says to coat the back of a spoon with chocolate and then kind of swirl the cake with it. Oh yeah. Let me look at what I'm supposed to be doing here. That's kind of it. That's kind of the vibe. Whoa. Let me start this direction. Ooh. Now it's getting kind of spooky. Ooh. I think some things could have gone differently. I think maybe I did need to beat the frosting again because it isn't as tight as I thought it was. And then the other thing I'll say is that I think baking it in the kind of rounded edge 9x12 didn't do it any favors in terms of not being a blob. But sometimes blobs are beautiful. And honestly, these chocolate swirls, kind of slay. There we have it, folks. A cake. Kind of. There is a cake under there. I remember seeing a cake under there. We'll just have to dig in and see what we find. I'm worried it didn't turn out good. I'm worried I should have beat the meringue more so it was stiffer. It really is flop-tina, but I think hopefully it'll still taste good. I don't know, it just was so sticky, I couldn't deal with it anymore. So I'm gonna try to cut a slice and we're gonna try to taste it. It looks so floppy. It's fine, it's fine. A floppy cake is still a good cake. It's a snacking cake. Oh my God, there's so much meringue. Oh. Floppy marshmallow and not a layer. We'll see where the butterscotch is. It's in there somewhere. It's hiding. I can see it coming off the edge. All right, let's give it a taste. It's good. I mean, it's chocolate cake with meringue. It's marshmallows and chocolate and butterscotch somewhere. Oh, I found the butterscotch. I found the butterscotch. It's hiding. Hey, I could eat as much of this as I possibly could. Yeah, interesting, interesting. I knew this would be a risk. I knew making this Swiss meringue would be hard, and I was right. But it tastes delicious. And that's all that matters. So things kind of went off the rails at the end, which is kind of what I predicted would happen. It's got a par for the course. I'm doing this 100 times. Yeah, I think maybe it just could have been whipped stiffer. Oops. So it wouldn't have been as floppy, but it still tasted good. This was a lot of work. Making a Swiss meringue is a lot of work. It's not for the faint of heart. And we accomplished something today and we should be proud of that. And it tastes delicious. It's marshmallows and butterscotch and chocolate cake. What more could you ask for? It's perfect. It's hard to make, but it's perfect. I think I have to give it 4 out of 5 red spoons. Okay, back in the box. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, I've got another delicious devil's food cake recipe, so check out caramel nut cake ring next. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you aren't already, and until next time, happy homemaking.